Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rofiqul. I'm from Chemistry A class. We'll present material on the history of Islamic civilization Prophet Muhammad in the Medina period 622 until 632 AD. Stay tuned. First, the Prophet's hijrah to Medina and the meaning behind the hijrah. During 13 years of patiently calling Islam to the courage to monetize Allah SWT, but the progress was failed by him not as accept. When the Prophet Muhammad SAW carried out his mission preaching in Mecca, he often received terror, torture, and great tears. Until finally, the Prophet Muhammad SAW decided to immigrate to Yathrib, Medina area. The Prophet and his entourage migrated to Medina in stage and arrived in Medina on 12th of Robiul Awal or September 622 The Prophet and his entourage were welcomed by the people of Medina. The reasons the Prophet and his entourage were easily accepted in Medina because the Islamic period of Medina, according to Darwaza, began from 2 years before the Prophet's migration to Medina. This in accordance with the people of Medina who came from the three Khazraj tribes in Aqaba, between Mina and Mecca. The first Aqaba agreement took place the 11th year around prophethood around 622 during the Hajj season. 6 men from Medina met the Prophet Muhammad and declared their Islam. They also promised to spread the teaching of Islam in Medina. This meeting took place at Aqaba during the following Hajj season. The second of Aqaba agreement took place in 622 on the 13 years of prophethood. A total of 73 people from Medina pilgrimage group met the Prophet Muhammad. In this meeting, known as the second of Aqaba agreement, they extend an official invitation to the Prophet to come and preach in Medina. This event took place on the days of Tashriq, the 11th, 12th, and 13th of Dhul al-Hajj. When the Prophet and his entourage arrived in Medina, the Prophet was appointed by the residents to become a leader. Therefore, he laid the political foundation in Medina, including, firstly, building the Nabawi Mosque, established as a center of worship, social and government to unite the people. The second, uniting Muhajirin and Ansar, closely bind the Muslim of Mecca and Medina with the bonds of Ukhuwah Islamiyah, eliminating all enmities and creating brotherhoods based on the religions. Third, drafting the Medina Charter, a constitution that regulates the rights and duties of citizens, including non-Muslims, such as Jews, create internal stability and establish mutual security. And the last one, establishing a war force built to protect Medina from outsiders, especially from the pagan Quraysh of Mecca, demonstrating the Muslim community's divine rightness. The Prophet Muhammad in Medina acted as head of state as well as head of government. He faced great challenges because Medina was a multi-ethnic city with diverse religious beliefs, which had the potential to cause conflict and undermine unity. To overcome this, Prophet Muhammad immediately established the Medina Charter or political culture. This charter was an agreement between the Prophet Muhammad and the Muslims, Muhajirin and Ansar, which the Jewish community of Medina. Its main objective was to create stability and integration in a pluralistic society, ensuring that the rights and obligations of each group were recognized for the sake of mutual integrity. The term Darussalam and Darul Islam, while not directly mentioned in the Medina Charter, are often associated with it. Darussalam as the house of peace or place of safety refers to Medina as a safe haven for all its inhabitants regardless of religion or ethnicity. The Charter of Medina guarantees freedom of religion, security of property, and protection of the law to all its citizens. Darul Islam, as a house of Islam or place of Islam, refers to Medina as the center of Islamic government where Islamic law was applied. Well, the contents of the Medina Charter include the first one Ummah, shared community. All residents of Medina, both Muslim and non-Muslim, especially Jews, were considered as the one community with rights and obligations as citizens, despite their different religions. The second, freedom of religion. Each group is granted the freedom to practice its own religion without correction. Third, equal rights and duties. All individuals and groups have equal rights and obligations under the law, including the right to protection and security. Fourth, mutual peace and security. All parties are obligated to maintain peace in Medina and unit against anyone who acts unjustly or destabilizes it. Medina was declared a safe territory from internal bloodshed. Fifth, mutual defense. All parties were obligated to help each other in the face of enemies attacking Medina, which the codes of defense burned chainly. Sixth, leadership of Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad was recognized as the supreme leader and judge who resolved disputes. And the last one, prohibition of protection the enemy, prohibit the citizen of Medina from protecting or helping the enemies of Islam, especially the pagan Quraysh of Mecca. And the last part is a summary of the history of the Prophet's civilization in Medina. The Medina period was a crucial phase in which Islam developed into a full-fledged social, political, and religious system. Here are the main points. First, establishment of the first Islamic state. Prophet Muhammad established Medina as the first Islamic state based on the principle of justice, brotherhood, and interfaith tolerance. The second, Charter of Medina. He established the first constitution, the Medina Charter, which regulates religion between Muslim, Jews, and other tribes, guaranteeing the rights and duties of all citizens. Third, implementation of Islamic law. Many social, economic, and worship-related Islamic laws, such as zakat and family law, were established and implemented in Medina. And the last one, exemplary leadership. The Prophet demonstrated just, wise, and compassionate leadership, setting an example in building a sustainable Islamic civilization. Overall, the Medina period was an important milestone that transformed Islam from a mere religion to a robust civilization that continues to thrive today. That's my presentation, the history of Islamic civilization prophet in the Medina period. I hope you can understand it. And thank you for watching. That's all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you. Bye bye.